Hello everyone, I'm Chester44 and welcome to this Let's Play of Avadon 3. Last episode, we went into, we went in here. Redbeard had managed to get in, though it took some effort, and, we spoke with him after all this. Our next quest is to, I think it's head to Goldcrag? Yes, go to the ruins of Goldcrag and try to convince her to help us. The commander that is stationed there to help us. We also need to find a vault in Goldcrag so that the people of Goldcrag have permission to help out. And we also got quests from two of our companions. It was Botan and Selena. Botan wants us to help out with a mission of his, and he wants us to try and do it peacefully. I will. And Selena wants us to try and go find that intelligent construct that we found over in the corruption, which we can do. But there's still many more people we need to talk to in here, so let's start with Commander Wallace here. Once again, you meet Commander Wallace. You confronted him outside and convinced him to let Redbeard in. Since then, he has been evicted from his chambers. Now he is working in the dining hall. He's commandeered one of the tables and he directs his soldiers from here. He's really unhappy about it. Well, I hope you are all settling in well. I know your rooms are adequate. I used to use them. Well, we're on the same side. I'll try to be polite and helpful. I could use a favor, though. I'd like to know more about this fortress. It is the lair of a dragon. Has been for centuries. In return for generous payments, Zethron is sharing it with us. He let us hollow out our barracks in the passages he had no use for. It is a very handy base for Avadon. Living in a dragon's lair has many tactical advantages. Want to know more? Ask Redbeard. What should I ask Redbeard? He's made it clear that this is his fort now. His fort, his problems. Need to waste someone's time, waste his. Tell me about Zethron. That wily old worm? He acts friendly, but he's entirely dangerous and selfish, like all of his kind. Still, he is happy doing business with humans. Avadon has paid him a lot over the years, and he's provided power and knowledge in return. You sit with Commander Wallace as he works from his new, humble office. As time goes on, he warms up to you. Maybe he doesn't blame you for Redbeard's actions. On the other hand, he might just be a cunning politician. I'd like to talk about Redbeard. Well, I don't want to. He is not the keeper anymore. He is a rogue warrior, and he has no right to do what he is doing. I have to follow orders, so does he. Everyone tells me to be silent, I won't. Someone has to say the truth. For now, it will be me. Angering Redbeard doesn't seem wise. I know, it is dangerous to anger the keeper, even if he is falling apart and half-mad and infected by the corruption. Doesn't matter. If nobody can tell the truth without fear, the Pact is lost. No matter what the Farlands do. To a point. What will you do while he is here? My job. I look after this fort. I command the non-Avadon soldiers here. I fight the enemy. I won't be afraid of mad old Redbeard, even if I should be. Any work I can do for you? Commander Wallace starts to snap a snide retort, but then, wisely, he thinks better of it. You know there is. I know hands don't help without pay. I can pay you. I could use a small favor. There are Titans camped outside. Titans who work as mercenaries for the Pact. Most of them behave. There's a small band of them who don't, commanded by a lumbering fool named Gorm. Make them behave. You'll need to get permission first. Scare them into submitting. Tell me more about Gorm. He is Warborn through and through. Arrogant, dumb, and greedy. Titans might have been part of the Pact centuries ago, but for thugs like him, his Titans steal our goods and pick fights with our soldiers. His kind only sees reason when it's pounded directly into his skull. Why haven't you pacified them yourself? Wallace looks around at the almost empty meal hall. With what soldiers? Every warrior I have is scouting the front and raiding the actual enemy. Avadon never gives us the help we need. That problem, at least, is all too familiar. You say I should get permission. Oh, that, yes. Orders from the Black Fortress. The Titans handle their own discipline. They are commanded by Titan Grenra. He lives in a big hall outside to the north. If you want to deal with Gorm, you have to talk with Grenra first. A dumb rule, but it was necessary to get the Titans to help. Sure thing. I'm just gonna speak to Redbeard to see if there is actually anything we can say. No, there is not. Okay. Actually, now that I think about it... Redbeard, want to know more about the war? What do you know of the Warborn? The wretches, ogres, and titans. Violent, vicious, and greedy. They are a relentless foe, but one that gives me pleasure. I understand them, and I appreciate their predictability. They will always be a problem. The key is to make them a manageable problem. They will always fight us? I imagine so. It is their way. Sometimes I dream that they will change. Maybe someday they even will. I am not one of those who thinks that they should all be eradicated. Why not? I am brutal, I know it. I am proud of it. Yet to eradicate entire races from the world, let all know that there is a limit to what Redbeard is capable of. There's a difference between saying a limit to what you're capable of and a limit to what you're willing to do. Redbeard, you just implied that you are willing to commit genocide, and the only reason you aren't is because you can't. Oh dear. Why are they called the Warborn? Because from the moment they are born, all they do is fight. It is their life, their destiny. It is what they must do. It is a madness that drives them. Yet even then, why do we think we are better? Are we not all Warborn now? I'll not be like that. And yet here we are. Never mind my musings, they are just a distraction. How is the battle with them going? The Warborn fight the way they fight, in massive undisciplined hordes, rampaging without order or honor. It happens from time to time. Yet they have not been defeated. Normally we would have crushed them by now. Someone is directing them. Someone provides guidance and supplies. Who is helping them? Must you ask? It is Delos and the Tawan Empire. I am sure of it. Not that Hanvar's council would ever believe me, of course. What do we need to do? Scare them, cut them off, make them feel alone. Let their natural rage and tendency toward chaos take control. I think Delos will try to go to them soon. He will try to control them. If we can prevent this, we have hope. Okay then. Well, that's information gained. Let's move on. Really? Okay, I guess I'll take them... Hold on. Yeah, I'm gonna go back. Take a look down here, see if maybe this path is something else. I'm surprised we're taking them so soon. When we barely walked through this place. Apparently we are. Okay, I'll take Alita and Wotan again. That's just a guard. What's this book? The eyes have been taking notes in these journals, recording what they have seen. They use some sort of weird combination of code and shorthand. Can't make sense of any of it. Intentionally, most likely. This eye of Avadon is staring into the crystal pillar. You look over his shoulder and see what's going on. You see a chaotic jumble of images, roads, thickets, the occasional band of Warborn. It all passes so fast it gives you a headache in moments. The eye ignores you, concentrating on the madness. It doesn't even know that you're there. Eyes must receive some special training that lets them process this information. Stairs downwards. Interesting. Same thing there. These two are probably the same. It looks like it. Coins, Teal Scroll, handy. This book is about dragons. Alright then. Dragons, 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 dragons. Nobody knows how many dragons there are. At least 50, maybe hundreds. They live mostly on the southern peninsulas, the wretched lands, the Titan Peaks, and even, for the most solitary specimens, the Corruption. Dragons are the oldest, largest, most powerful of the intelligent races of Linnaeus. All of the rumors of legend are true. They live for centuries. They are passionate about collecting large quantities of wealth, as if humans aren't. They have powerful natural magical abilities. They are deadly if angered. But they can also be patient. They have knowledge that stretches back centuries. They are also not suicidal. Thus, when the Midlands Pact formed, the dragons did not fight it. They made themselves useful. Since the Pact formed, many dragons have worked for it, finding an easy route to a far richer horde. They work as mercenaries, sages, and magical consultants, not to mention a bustling business in Shed Scales. This arrangement works very well. The dragons grow old and rich, and the Pact neutralizes a potentially deadly foe. But all dragons are proud, some so much so that such accommodations are seen as a betrayal of their kind. These dragons keep such views quiet. They know that they are not outside the reach of Avadon. However, dragons have long memories. They remember all the slights, and they know what dragons have sold their birthright to the humans. If the Pact grows weak enough, there will be a bloody reckoning. Okay then. Illarian. You meet Illarian, the sage you freed from the Avadon dungeons. She is supervising the eyes here. They sit staring into enchanted crystals, spying on the mountains around this fort. She does take a moment off to talk to you.
Ah, Gabriel, I'm glad you came by. You did me a service. I am repaying it by spying for Redbeard.
We are busy here. I can speak with you for a moment if it would help. How did you escape Avadon?
After you found me, I slipped unseen to the portal in Redbeard's tower. As soon as it became active, I traveled through it. You came through shortly after.
I was happy to help, and glad you made it here safely.
As am I.
You wait for more, but she is in a taciturn mood. She would prefer that you left her to her spying. What do you do here now?
I am an eye. I gather information. Sometimes I deal with Zethron for it. The rest of the time, Redbeard has me tend to and use these scrying crystals.
She waves proudly at the 4 crystal pillars.
They can see anything happening outdoors for 20 miles around. More if we concentrate. That isn't far, but it watches several key passes. Very useful.
Why did Protus imprison you?
Because I know that Redbeard is our true leader by right and law. Protus thought he could make an example of me, get me to submit so that the others would fall in line. I did not.
Learning anything interesting?
The Warborn are very active. Hordes are moving around. Great events are happening. You should talk to Redbeard. I know he has a great plan for you.
Can I use the crystals? Illarian looks shocked.
No! They are very delicate, carefully crafted and calibrated bits of equipment. Eyes only.
Do you also get information from Zethron?
Yes, the dragon will fly over certain areas if we need a closer look. However, this is expensive. The dragon does nothing without pay. That's why Redbeard has me work with the crystals. They're cheaper.
Illarian walks from crystal to crystal, directing the eyes who spy through them. You walk alongside her. She clearly would prefer to be left to her work, but you did save her after all. She wants to be polite. Tell me more about the dragon.
You should talk to the dragon yourself. Zethron is very friendly for one of his kind. That's why we have worked with him for so long. A good partnership. It is remarkable what he has here. An enormous hoard, even a library.
Where is the dragon?
She points to the west. Very hard to miss.
Tell me about this library.
It is somewhere in the tunnels below us. It must be remarkable. He doesn't let anyone into it. He just told us it's surrounded by traps and to leave it alone.
Zethron has a hoard?
Of course. All dragons do, or they die of shame. Zethron is quite old, so I'm sure he has a remarkable assortment of wealth. I feel bad about asking for a favor after all you've done. Now that I think about it, there is something you can do for me.
Oh god. We're talking about the dragon's hoard, and then you think of a favor you want to ask for me. Oh, great.
What can I do? Well, we don't want to steal Zethron's hoard, but it's nice to know what it is. Redbeard might end up desperate for gold. His hoard is in the middle of a massive chamber in the lower caves. Get close enough to get a good look at it. Then describe it to me, that's all. Don't do anything that will make the dragon angry.
Can I trade with you? Illarian isn't amused by the question, but she remains polite.
I am no merchant. I gather knowledge and I give it to my master. Find Pinchon. He is around somewhere. Redbeard has that smug tinkerer working as quartermaster.
Okay then. And we got here 2 lamps, and that's it. Alright, so the dragon's to the west. Yeah, it must be in there. Alright, let's take a look at what's up here. Actually, let's take a look at the quartermaster here. Pinchon. 3 tunnels meet here. Fresh supplies are piled everywhere at the intersection. There are several wheelbarrows meant to carry goods where they are needed. All of it is watched over by one young, very bitter man. When you approach him, he snaps, "Another of Redbeard's lackeys, eh? I'm Craftmaster Pynchon. Your master has stuck me with the Quartermaster job. Please let me know how you would like to waste my talents today." "You are a true Craftmaster?" "I am. A true master in the working of steel, gold, and gems. I can make fine armor. I can make scarabs. I can even make wands if you give me time. I can also count jars and stack crates. That's what Redbeard thinks is my best use." "Why does Redbeard have you doing this job?" "Because he needs a quartermaster and I was free. At least that's what he said. I'm sure that retribution for my support of Protus has nothing to do with it." "Can you make anything for me?" Pynchon just stares at you. You suspect that a spoken answer, if he gave one, would not be pleasing. "What do you think of Redbeard?" "Well, I would love to tell you, but then your master would have me murdered. That's the way he does things, right? So I'll just stay silent like a lowly quartermaster should." Craftmaster Pynchon walks from one pile of supplies to another, inspecting them and making notes. You have to constantly clear your throat to get his attention. He constantly pretends that you aren't there. He's trying to irritate you, and it's working. "Tell me about this fortress." "It was a dragon's lair for centuries. Then the dragon, Zethron, decided to rent part of it to the Pact. The east half of the top floor can be used by us. The rest belongs to the dragon." "What can you tell me about Zethron?" "Nothing. I keep my distance. I've only even seen the beast once. You should go talk to him, though. I'm sure he won't be hungry." "I'd like to trade with you."
Of course. It is all I am good for, after all. I can buy and sell trinkets. That's the authority Redbeard gave me. Granted, I do have a few fine items I crafted. However, my old orders are that I can only sell them to Commander Wallace's hands. You aren't one of them. Sorry.
Let me see your mundane goods. A couple lockpicks, diamonds, various armor, Titan steel razor disc, composite bow. He's got a lot of stuff. Demand to see your crafted goods.
I can't show you. Orders are orders, and I won't break them until Redbeard forces me to.
Alright, want to sell something, specifically everything in here. Which I can do. That's all I need. Craftmaster Pynchon pretends not to hear you. He just wanders off. Now that I think about it, I did have this breastplate of the anvil. Which... the only difference is... more armor and a critical hit chance instead of the strength bonus. Doesn't say how much each point of strength actually changes things, which is a bit frustrating. I mean, the extra protection would be nice. I can give this to her and... actually... sure, why not? This guy's chainmail might be useful for someone, I don't know. Titan guards. Oh, that actually goes north? Oh, north exit, okay. That means there must be a west exit nearby. Probably through one of these paths. Most likely, I imagine the west exit is over here. It makes sense. Why would the west exit be through the horde of lava? Nope, there's still lava here. The dragon Zethron is protected by a host of bound infernals. You approach one of them, expecting the standard insolence and insults. Instead, the creature stares straight ahead, totally oblivious to your presence. Zethron's control over these infernals is absolute. It's a remarkable display of raw power. Ah, so the west exit actually goes right by Zethron. So I guess that way he just knows who everyone is that comes in. Well, we'll speak with him... I guess we'll be speaking with him right now. Around this way. Alright. The dragon waits for you atop a spire of smoking basalt. When you get close, you see that he has recently recovered from grievous injuries. His flanks are covered with savage scars. His wings were torn up and then stitched back together with threads of steel. Even stranger, his legs have been reinforced with metal braces. The gleaming steel was etched with long lines of runes. The dragon watches you carefully as you approach, his cunning mind waiting for weaknesses and opportunities. When you are close, he says in a soft, sibilant voice, "I am Zethron, ally to the Pact, partner of Avadon. Who are you?" "Greetings, mighty dragon. I am Hand Gabriel." Zethron nods, clearly appreciating the courtesy. "New humans come in and out of my keep constantly. Even a mind like mine can't track them all. Few come to visit me personally, though. A human coming to meet me is usually bad news." "Bad news?" "Humans only care about dragons for what you can get from us. Muscle, treasure, or knowledge, usually. Those requests can end in suffering." He flaps his torn wings once and winces. "Are you here to make a request?" "I wasn't planning on making any requests." Zethron smiles. At least you think it's a smile. "Then only conversation? I do not mind the company. We might even find a way to be useful to each other. Come, join me. I can spare the time. Let us converse." He motions for you to join him. You do so, wondering how long you can withstand the heat before you pass out. "Tell me about your life." Zethron nods slowly. "A popular topic before the war started. So many sages came to ask me things, and I do love to talk about myself. They paid well for my time, of course. And yet, times are hard. I will be brief. Suffice to say, I am older, much older than your Pact and your Avadon." "Has this always been your lair?" "No. It was my home for centuries, but I then moved to a new lair in the Wretchlands. I went there because it made it easier to trade with the Pact. Now I have returned here. My decades' absence let this place crumble a bit. I am having it rebuilt now." "Why do historians pay so much?" "Because every land in Linnaeus wants to know its history. Human arrogance. And I saw much of that history with my own eyes, unclouded. Your fragile memories cannot compete with the living record that is every dragon. Like the Black Age. I remember the Black Age fondly." "What happened in the Black Age?" "The Pact fell apart in civil war. It was chaos everywhere. No order, no need to deal with humans. I could loot and feed at will. Oh, the lovely exposed villages, free of protection. A happier, simpler time." How old are you?" "Past a certain age, we dragons no longer bother with recalling mere numbers. I do know that over 500 years have passed since my hatching." "Who raised you?" "My mother was a proud fire dragon named Rakulia. I believe she still lives, though she will have seen her 1000th year by now. I honor her. Hopefully the scars from our battle have faded." "You fought her?" "There comes a time when every young dragon is overcome with lust for its mother's hoard. Such greed compels us. It is nothing personal. Most mothers are then kind enough to only banish the young dragon, not devour it." Zethron looks down at the metal braces on his legs. "She would be disgusted to see what I allowed done to me. She never understood humans. She never accepted that they could do things for us." I see. Zethron is willing to spare time to speak. Actually, hold on, one more thing. Tell me about the Pact. "It was a durable and understandable arrangement you humans have made. The Pact states were in the middle of Linnaeus, exposed. It was natural for them to band together, and Avadon wielded the ruthlessness necessary to keep the Pact alive. The Pact worked well. Then the Age of Chaos began. Now the Pact might die.
You really think the Pact will die?
Perhaps. Not soon, I think. I believe you will win this war. You have taken great wounds, though. Wounds that may never heal.
You immediately begin to ask another question, but the dragon snorts a cloud of sulfur.
I am done talking about this. You are not ready for the harsh truths dragons see so plainly. Ask something else.
Zethron is willing to spare time to speak with you. He basks in the heat, and you sit and sweat next to him. Only a fierce determination to not look weak to this creature keeps you upright. You are still amazed by the steel bracers Avadon crafted for the dragon. Whoever helped him recover from his wounds was determined to make him even more powerful, with the strongest magic the Pact could provide. What dealings do you have with Avadon?
I have been your ally for decades. It was Redbeard who first came to me. He recruited me, offering knowledge and treasure for aid. I don't care about your politics, but I know that a human named Protus talks for Avadon now. He sends envoys to me soon after he took power. The deals we already had in place continued.
What do you think of Redbeard?
Unusually competent for a human and bloodthirsty in an effective way. I don't know how much longer you will serve him, though. He has not come to see me personally yet, but I can sniff the stink of the corruption on him from here. I know he will try to cure it, but such afflictions are so rarely removed.
Tell me more about Protus.
He is just another human. He is competent enough and he pays his debts. Beyond that, I don't lower myself enough to care.
How are you paid?
Gold, power, and influence. Also, when I am wounded in your service, I am tended to well.
He looks down at the braces on his legs. They gleam in the light of the magma. What sort of services do you perform?
I used to fight for you. Now I very rarely do that since I took harsh wounds in your service. Now I give knowledge and I act as a spy.
You have knowledge.
I have collected many books and bits of gossip over the centuries. Dragons are wise. We know that there are many sorts of treasures besides gold. Many pay dearly for access to even a single work from my library.
You start to ask about his library, but he quiets you with a warning snort. You have fought alongside the Pact.
One flight and a few blasts from my fiery breath can level a city. At least it used to.
He flaps his torn wings.
Now I will only fight for you if I have a special interest. There are some among the Warborn that have offended me. That is a private matter, though.
You are a spy.
I can fly many miles in a day. I have found many enemy bases for your Pact. Many of your foes have met speedy deaths once I told your armies where to go. If Rakulia had known what I would sink to, she would have smashed my egg.
Why?
It is not worthy work for a dragon. We have sunk so low in our desire to serve humans.
He stares off into the smoke and mist.
But one day...
Then he remembers who he is talking to.
Never mind. I am a loyal ally to the Pact still.
You have braces on your legs.
Yes, they were used to mend my bones after I was wounded in a great battle. Then I realized that they could be used to make me stronger. With my aid, the Eyes of Avadon crafted them.
Tell me about the battle.
When the Age of Chaos was about to begin, the Warborn raided my lair in the Richlands. I hunted them down, desiring my rightful revenge. I did battle with a mighty host of titans. Many of them died, satisfying my vendetta. I also paid a great price.
Avadon healed you.
They provided me a refuge in the Black Fortress. They helped me heal faster than I would have on my own. Dragons are hardy beasts. Nicodemus and his assistants also helped to craft these braces. They are lighter than they look and powerfully enchanted. I know of no dragon who has ever had something similar.
What effects do the braces have?
Why would I share such a secret with you? Trust me, if you ever find out, it is because someone is about to die horribly.
You said that we might trip.
Yes. I am not a merchant. I don't deal in baubles. I pay for services, heroic deeds. First, however, I need to know if you are adequate to work for me. Human, I want a small favor. There are 2 towers outside my lair where I quarter my servants. The southern tower is a ruin. It will have to be rebuilt. The northern tower, however, is mostly intact. Alas, it is full of traps. I will have it unlocked for you. I need you to enter and set them off. Then it will be safe to move my servants in.
What sort of traps are there?
Honestly, I can't remember. My mind is very powerful, but not without limits.
So you can remember things centuries ago, but you can't remember what you learned maybe a couple weeks ago. Yeah, that's actually pretty accurate for humans, too. How can I remove them?
Use your human trickery. Avadon is clever, you will manage. It should not be difficult. The traps have been there for a long time. Most of their power will have leaked away by now.
Who placed the traps?
I did. I wanted my lair left alone when I moved to the Wretchlands. When I returned here 3 years ago, I disarmed all of the traps in these caves. The towers have not yet been dealt with.
Understood, and it's something we can definitely do. And that's the stairway down. Alright. Well, we'll take a look at what's downstairs in the next episode, because this one has gone on long enough. Then we'll take a look downstairs, see what we can see, and then deal with the tower outside. That'll be in the next episode. So, until then, I am Chesnick44. That is Gabriel, Kalita, and Botan. This has been an Avadon 3 Let's Play, and I shall see you all next time.